Trey said on the teleconference, we haven't lost momentum, we just lost at Auburn or at Georgia. You always talk about keeping that even keel. From the win over Florida, people probably overreact to a win against Florida and then overreact to the game at Georgia. How have you seen the guys' mentality stay, not get too high?
Well, since the Georgia game, we didn't practice, so we'll see today. But, business as usual for us. As far as people overreacting, the only people overreacting that matters is me. So as long as we're locked in and doing what we got to do, and that's the bottom line.
Do you try to, portray that so that the guys kind of feed off how you?
Well, that doesn't happen after a loss. That's the beginning of the season. That's a lifestyle, and it's understood.
You beat Kentucky by 30. You beat Florida at home. Great atmosphere. You go to Georgia and don't play so well. Can you sense going into a game when you're ready to play as a team and maybe when you're not?
I don't necessarily think it was a matter of not being ready to play or being ready to play. It was one of them things where the ball didn't go in the hole. It went in more for them than it did for us, and I don't really necessarily think we had a terrible defensive game. It was just one of those where we wasn't hitting open shots that we usually hit and have been hitting in the past 6 games, and that's part of streaks. Streaks are made to end. That's going to happen. We played consistent and played really well for 6 games, and it was kind of like one of those things where you're due, and then it was one of those games where the ball didn't go in the hole, and so I think it was more of that than anything else.
Kenny, you see it the same way?
Yeah, I feel like we played pretty much the same basketball we've been playing. Like Skylar said, the only difference is just shots wasn't falling. And, some of our primary scorers, they wasn't really scoring. So, but I think, besides that, we played a good game.
Georgia was pretty effective against Jarnell Stokes when they doubled him. Other teams have tried to double Stokes, and he's had some more success in that. Do you think Georgia's personnel allowed that, or do you think Georgia did something different against Stokes?
Well, I think it was more of a case of missed shots. I think Trey was 1 for 10, if I'm not mistaken. Skylar 1 for 8. And I thought they were, decent looks. But you got to give Georgia credit for, winning a basketball game. But I think it was more of a case of, key guys missing shots that I thought they had great opportunities or not. They weren't forced shots.
In regard to Stokes, though, the way they defended him was what I was getting at.
Well, I think, what they were doing is they left a couple guys to see if they could make shots, and so they were giving up some, and it worked out for them. So then I guess you can say it worked because other guys didn't make shots. But I don't think that was necessarily leaving, Trey and Skylar. Trey and Skylar just didn't make shots. I think they were hovering off of Almani and Josh in that case. But, it was effective because they won the game.